Yeah, very helpful.
Olha assim, o fish coisa.
This is Kaffee.
Kaffeeschoter. Das ist ein Otter.
Bin mir nicht ganz sicher.
Nein, ich hab's von dort gesehen. Das ist ein Fischotter.
Green benches are on a very, very clear day. You can even see Mount Rainier from Victoria. And Mount Rainier is like an hour and a half south of Salem. 14,000 plus feet now. And you can see it from different points too. It's a very high mountain. As we come on the bend here, look over to your left, you'll find the sign of Mile Zero marker. You start on the Trans-Canada Highway 1, you know this highway in North America. And this large complex on the right, this is the law courts, provincial law courts. When somebody does something bad, this is where we drag them, right? So that's beautiful old building. Right in the middle to the right. There it is right there. When the royal family comes to Victoria from England, that's where they go. I'm sure you find in Victoria clean folks. They said Victoria is so clean that even when the birds fly over us, they fly upside down. So Victoria was settled before Seattle, Washington and Vancouver, BC back in 1840. Another beautiful church coming up on the left. This is called the St. Andrews, Roman Catholic. One on each side. City of Victoria hangs more than 1,800 hanging baskets in the downtown core every summer, and they began this back in 1939, including the hanging basket. This building across the street on the left corner, our first public library. It's not a library anymore, but it was a gift by Andrew Carnegie back in 1904. You take a private boat. You can swim across, but the water's too cold. It's about 22 miles between Vancouver and Victoria, the ocean front. So all these ferry services, they're all year-round services, more sailing in the summer, less in the winter. And then we got many other ferry terminals, ferry services going from in North America. Just under 11,000 feet height in Bellingham, Washington. border. An average house price in Greater Victoria right now, $1.2 million. The gates of the harmonious centrifuge. In front of the gate is a lion on each side. And there's a myth about these two lions, folks. They say whenever an honest politician will walk between them, they'll come alive. Well, they have food yet. They were given to us as a gift by the sister city in China, Suzhou. And on the left, folks, coming up shortly, where the rickshaw there, the narrowest street in North America called the Fantanel Heritage on the left. Less than 4 feet wide some places. Fantan is a gambling game named after it. That was the old gamble. They had gambling places in there and opium dens. When the opium was legal back in the early 1900s. All little part of Victoria, folks. Blocks each way. You'll find a lot of restaurants, eateries, cafes, grocery stores, clothing stores, souvenir shops. And all these, a restaurant shop. And 40 years ago, just on the right, there was a small railway station. A train that used to go up to north of the island, up to Cornwall. And if you go over the bridge on the right, you're going to the municipality called the Squamish. And 2.5 miles down the road, you come to the naval base and the dry dock. And that bridge is fairly good. It's a swinging bridge. That's up by the same man who also designed the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco and the Lionsgate Bridge. The oldest two buildings in Greater Victoria. Built in the 1850s, 1860s, when it used to be a bank home and the post office. They won't be going anywhere in the future. And the inner harbor on the right. Was built back in 1843, folks. The trading post for the Hudson Bay Fur Trading Company. That's how the whole city started, 1843. After these buildings on the right and left, that's where it all began. All that was what? Fort Victoria. And this building beside this tree on the left is running as the Maritime Museum now. And the first judge of British Columbia there was Bailey Begbie, who was also known as the hanging judge. He didn't spare nobody that time. It was like Roy Beans in Texas. Inner harbor on the right is the busiest floatplane harbor in Canada. You can take a floatplane, daily flights to sell the first one going on. He's going around the harbor, you know, fishermen wharf, some of the pubs, hotels. And that's the neat thing to do. Right? That was our first customs building, historic customs building. Now it's a law firm house. And straight ahead of us, folks, legislature building of British Columbia. We will be driving past it. It's the heart of downtown, folks. It'll be the Empress Hotel, the harbor, the museum, and the legislature, Government Street. The corner building coming up on the left Used to be the customs building 6-7 years ago. They turned it into condominiums. One of the most expensive condominium on the top overlooking the ocean, anywhere from 7 to 10 million. And the famous Empress Hotel, built in 1908 by the Canadian Pacific Railway and the Steamship Company. It's the largest hotel on the island, 600 rooms here. Sweet sandwiches. Famous Empress IT. In Dartmouth Street, we're on the first page street in the west of the rock. And the museum across the street, on the left corner, one of the top 10 museums in North America, showing the industries we have begun with the wildlife and the history of First Nations. So this is the 7 bus on the left here, folks. If you catch it from to go to, it lights up every night as soon as it gets dark with more than 3,700 bulbs. And it's been lit up since 1910. The golden statue on top, Captain George Vancouver. He was one of the pioneer explorers that came here from England with Captain James Cook on his second voyage. They both came from England. This is where all the protest rallies happen, right here. Statue of Queen Victoria, James Douglas here, the Queen, and the beautiful totem pole carved by the First Nation people. And this building on the right, they're going to Starbucks. There used to be a London Wax Museum 35 years ago. That's the Steamship Company. That's where they used to be ticket sales pavilion. And behind him on the right, Blackball Coho Ferry Terminal. Ferry that goes to Port Angeles. Takes about 1,000 passengers, about 100 vehicles. There it is on the right. Makes several trips a day, year-round services. And they began this back in 1959 as Vista Stadium since. Doesn't matter how rough the ocean is, still going. And the other ferry terminal on the right is the Victoria Clipper, a faster catamaran that goes to Seattle, Washington, with just under 3 hours. Passenger slow. On the left, a fine example of old Victorian homes. This house on the corner left here, built by William Penray. He was one of the rich businessmen. This was his personal home, now turned into shops and tea places, also by Canada, named after James Douglas. In Greater Victoria, we have a lot of seniors. 33% of the population are retirees. Victoria is the capital town of Canada. People love to retire. So there is an old saying for Victoria that it's for the newlyweds, the nearly deads, and the flower beds. They got like 15, 20 vendors. A very popular fishing ships called the Bars. It's only about a 10-minute walk from the ship straight down of Dallas. And as we turn right, folks, I'm going to try to find a place to drop you folks off.